real in Siddhartha's mind.
It's very important to remember that Mara, this demon king, is not like the Christian Satan, because he isn't a tempter and he isn't any kind of counterpart to God. He is purely the psychological forces which we have within us.
Mara unleashed an army of demons to attack Siddhartha. They fired flaming arrows at him. But mid-flight, Siddhartha turned them into lotus blossoms, and they fell harmlessly around him. Having failed, Mara then tried to subdue Siddhartha with his tempting daughters.
He is assailed by the demon king, who is at the same time death and desire. Very Freudian, that, in a way. Desire is death, death is desire. And in fact, the demon king offers him his 3 daughters, who are both passion, or lust, and aversion, which is equally bad. If you shy away from it and say, no, that's absolutely disgusting, you're also a slave to passion. And he can be completely calm and indifferent and just gaze at them without any feelings of attraction or repulsion.
The faces of Mara's daughters began to rot before Siddhartha's eyes. The evil daughters then disappeared into the earth.
It is, in fact, you could say, the Buddha's very recognition that Mara is an aspect of himself. The total recognition of that is his enlightenment.
The earth is said to have trembled as he dispelled the devil. Siddhartha, now aged 35, passed through 4 jhanas to reach enlightenment and become the Buddha, or awakened one. He then spent 7 days beneath a tree in a meditative state of absolute bliss.
This is seen as a state where the mind is incredibly refined and sensitive. An image might be of a lake which is totally still, which would register even an insect on the surface. So this is seen as a state where the mind is very, very powerful as an instrument of knowledge, very sensitive.
In this highly attuned state, the Buddha saw a way to escape the inevitable cycle of old age, sickness, and death. He realized that if we remove desire, we can remove dissatisfaction and suffering from our lives.
A key cause of the painfulness and frustration of life is craving, kind of demanding desires. So there's a general mismatch between how you want things to be and how they actually are.
The insight the Buddha attained beneath the tree was the birth of Buddhism, a religion followed today by 400 million people. The Buddha summed up his wisdom in 4 noble truths, which are the foundation of all Buddhist beliefs. The first noble truth recognized that there is suffering in life. The second diagnosed the cause of that suffering, desire. In the third truth, like a doctor, the Buddha revealed that there was a cure for desire. And in the fourth noble truth, he gave the prescription, how to cure the illness and achieve enlightenment or nirvana.
The ultimate aim was to reach a state of mind completely free of craving, ignorance, greed, hatred and delusion, thereby free of all the causes of future rebirth. When an enlightened person dies, they're seen as going beyond rebirth, to a state beyond, if you like, space and time, and not coming back. So that's seen as a state of liberation.
The Buddha would further teach that morality, meditation, and wisdom were the stepping stones to enlightenment. He would dedicate the rest of his life helping others to follow this path, towards freedom from suffering. As his followers grew in number, he went on to set up a school or sangha. Today, a temple stands beside a descendant of the very tree under which the Buddha became enlightened. The monks here have become a living library of the Buddha's teachings. After his enlightenment, the Buddha travelled across northern India, teaching the Four Noble Truths. He explained them in hundreds of parables, which have been handed down to us over the centuries. Chanting his sacred words beneath the Bodhi tree of enlightenment is seen by Buddhists to give special power to their practice. The chief monk is responsible for preserving this tradition at the temple.
The most important thing is the practice of his teachings. Practice diligently. Be ever mindful. So, now I explain Buddhism in 2 words. Practice mindfulness.
The path to enlightenment begins with the focusing of the mind and following a number of commandments.
Morality, meditation, and wisdom. So, not to kill, not to steal, not to have any sexual misconduct, not to tell a lie, and not to indulge in intoxicating drinks or intoxicants.
Monks must leave their families and give up everything, as the Buddha did.
It took a long time for me to decide, especially coming up in a family which has given me the best of everything. It was difficult to make a choice, and especially at a time when all my friends are well off working, and me myself choosing a completely different path.
A path his brother can remember him taking.
Like my father, my parents, they didn't make any decisions. They didn't force him that you please go and join the monkhood. It was his decision which he made.
Nirvana Param Sukh.
It was seen as a great opportunity by all the family.
She wanted to say Nirvana is the ultimate bliss. She liked that her son joined the monkhood, and she would be very happy if he would have attained Nirvana. My mother asked my brother, the door is always open, you can come back anytime you wanted. But he told, no, I will never like to come back. Once I've joined, means I have joined.
Today, Buddhist monks are expected to have the blessing of their parents when they leave home. The Buddha had no such approval. After 8 years, he went back to the palace and the family he'd abandoned. King Sadhodana now realized the importance of his son's quest. His stepmother even begged to join his Sangha, and she went on to become history's first nun. We're told his father now forgave the Buddha for the deep hurt he had caused.
The Buddha is justified in the eyes of all Buddhists of even leaving his wife and child to go on his solitary journey to try and find what the solution to life's problems is and how life should be lived. And for him, how life should be lived is the question, infinitely more important than having any possessions or even the company of loved ones.
The Buddha was to abandon his family again. He set out to teach for 40 years, passing on to his followers the wisdom he had attained beneath the Bodhi tree. But before he left, he ordained his son as a monk. The Buddha encouraged his followers to live together in a monastery or sangha to help them focus on the path to enlightenment.
Some